Another perspective I'd like to share with regards to Working Man's Death, the documentary, is that it's actually interesting that Working Man's Death has been shown on Al Jazeera, and which is quite a well-known channel that people actually listen to, and that is on CNN and everything. So, however, it's strange that if something like this has been shown on CNN, then which has such a leverage in society, then how come this hasn't stopped? How come this is still going on? That's an interesting point. Um, that um, in a way, this seems to be like almost an excuse for people if they watch it on CNN, then people probably think that, okay, if CNN airs it, if it's on Al Jazeera, then that means that the government will probably do something about this, and this will be helped, and this will be fixed because it has much exposure and many people see it, many people have watched it, and it's on Al Jazeera, so that means that a lot of people are aware of this, so that means that people is gonna fix this, and the government will fix this. But when you have a look that there's actually a lot of documentaries such as this being shown on television, and when you have a look at movies as well, often there is being talked about atrocities that goes on in the world and how people are getting abused and everything, and wars and crimes, and that is all basically presented to us through the media. But it's interesting that nobody really does anything. I mean, the government surely doesn't do anything, because if they really did, then it would have stopped already. They would have stopped it long ago, but it's still just here. And this whole thing where it's being aired on Al Jazeera and these huge networks that everybody looks at and watches, that's actually kind of an excuse to offer people an excuse to make people believe that apparently because it's being broadcasted worldwide for everyone to see on major networks, that apparently means that people can feel good, can feel good about that this this will be stopped by the government because the major channels like Al Jazeera is broadcasting this, so that means it's going to be helped, and so we feel like, oh, we don't have to do anything anymore now. Okay. And the same goes for like these non-profit organizations and things like fair trade and Oxfam, and that are apparently here to um, present the message that there's abuse going on in the world and we have to stop it. So therefore we have Oxfam and we have fair trade that are apparently here to um, give fairness to the trade, to the merchants in the south. Yet, um, it's interesting that the very existence of Oxfam and Fairtrade um, actually gives us an excuse to not stand up anymore and to not do anything anymore, because we actually think that, okay, because there's something like Oxfam and Fairtrade, that means that the government is already handling it. So Oxfam just needs to get more exposure, when really it's just here to give us that excuse and to make sure that people, such as all of us, we don't, to make sure that we don't stand up and actually move ourselves and actually do something to stop the abuse that's in the world. Things like those kind of documentaries and Oxfam Fairtrade, that's actually being created just to give us the excuse that apparently, because it's so well known worldwide, so many people know about it, the government knows about it, that means that apparently it's going to get fixed and the government is actually going to do something about it, when it's quite the other way around, that these things only are here to make sure that we sit on our asses and do nothing, and that we just wait for someone else like the government to fix all of this within the good trust that we have placed in our government, because we trust our government, we trust that they will represent us, that they will take care of us, that they will do what is the best for us. Though apparently they don't actually do that, because all this abuse is still going on, no matter how much documentaries there are, no matter, Oxfam fair trade, if anything, they're only just making it worse. Because they are giving people an excuse to just keep sitting on their asses, because people, when they go and buy products from fair trade, then they feel good about themselves because they have apparently supported a good cause. Trusting that the government will take on fair trade and Oxfam. However, that's obviously never ever gonna happen, because if you look at the world, then you will see that this has actually been specifically designed to make sure that we wouldn't in fact move ourselves and take care of this world ourselves, instead of placing our trust within people who are currently higher or better or more than us, like governments or organizations or whatever. The reality is that we have to do it ourselves, and we're going to do it through an equal money system. So support an equal money system and investigate an equal money system, because it's going to be the solution and it's in our hands, and we are going to bring it here. So www.equalmoney.org. Thank you.